Dear participants, good afternoon.
Very good afternoon.
Or good evening. I think it will be a tedious time for you all to sit in this particular time, because when I was sitting like you for this OP program, maybe 20 years back, even I felt the problem of OP, because the subjects, you are in the different profession and different discipline. So sometimes it might be interesting for you all, and sometimes it might be boring also. I'll because the topic that I'm going to present today, it is a general topic actually, and it is for everyone. That's the reason. So that's the reason I've just selected this topic. Why? Because this will be useful for everyone and each and every individual of the society, which will be more useful. And as you know that, before starting the slides, let me thank the HRDC for giving me an opportunity to present this paper. And of course, Nanjan Swami is a good friend of mine. And on many occasions he used to give me the invitation like this, and I used to come and present the papers. Okay, like I just wanted to know, I just want the feedback from the participants. Fitness and wellness, what your understanding about this fitness and wellness, or what you are expecting, or what you might be having in the mind that I'm going to talk on this particular topic. Any feedback you can get from the participant, please?
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Shiva Prasad.
Yeah.
I feel you would be speaking on physical fitness and mental wellness.
Yeah. Yeah, rightly, exactly. Because I don't think that this particular topic will be just only for few sector of the population. It is for total population, I believe. So let us move on to the slides. Very good, Shiva Pawar. It's well said. Let me move on to the topic. So as you know that everyone are used to go for this exercise. When you go to the doctor, or when you go to the wise person who will be like a doctor at home, so they'll be saying that you have to do some exercises, and which you have to take part in either in the morning or in the evening. And even I think even the WhatsApp, it will be trolling like what is the importance of walking also. You might be getting, I think recently some of the WhatsApp messages used to come. What is the importance of walking? So likewise, physical fitness, when you talk about the physical fitness, we just come across conditioning. So conditioning is nothing but is conditioning. What is the conditioning exercises? So conditioning exercise is a process of training to become fit in all dimensions, or physically, mentally, emotionally, intellectual fitness. It is nothing but physical fitness. So as you know that the process of training to become fit in all dimensions. What do you mean by all dimensions? It could be physical, it could be mental, it could be emotional, it could be intellectual fitness. As you know that you are just sitting on the online classes. So more of physics, and of course physics is what we take about how do you sit and how do you what is the posture, all these things, and mental, attention, emotional. So everything is counted over here. So that's the reason we call that fit is in all the dimension that is regarding fitness, physical, mental, emotional, and intellectual fitness. So physical fitness directly influences the health of an individual. Of course, when we talk about physical fitness, it speaks regarding individual health. When you are physically fit, your health is taken care of. And if you are not fit, you have to participate in the activity, physical fitness activity. So physical fitness activity does not mean just you have to just run to kilometers or miles or whatever it is. So as prescribed by many of the experts, like for different ages, the programs have been given. So you can just take those things and you can just help yourself in keeping yourself healthy. It develops our capacity to perform better in sports, job, day-to-day routine works. That's the reason I just told, earlier I just told you, like this particular paper, it will be more useful, not only for sector of population, for all the population. So what does it says here, that the physical fitness develops the capacity to perform better in sports. It's only the physical fitness, it does not alone responsible for improving performance in sports, but for all type of job and day-to-day routine activities. Take for example, as we are in the teaching profession, we have to stand 1 hour or 1.5 hours for lecture. We should be physically fit enough to stand, and we should have the capacity to perform. So naturally, the physical fitness takes up over there. And for all the professions, example, it could be a profession like bank, profession like railways, anywhere for the sector, the physical capacity of an individual plays vital important role. That's the reason you have to participate in the regular exercises. So this is achieved through moderate, vigorous. So how to achieve this conditioning? Moderate conditioning can take place, moderate exercise can take place, or vigorous physical activities can be taken place, and to that is a balanced diet and proper recovery. So these are certain things which you can get conditioned when you are doing the exercises. So why you do exercises? You do exercises to be physically active, to have the balanced, and to have a good sleep. So that's the reason regular conditioning exercises is more important. Now I'll just move on to fitness activities. So what is this fitness activities? When you have to be fit, physically fit, our regular activities has to take place. That is regular planned fitness activities like walking, jogging, cycling, swimming, and yoga improve health and skill related physical fitness of an individual. I just wanted to give an example. When I'd been to I think Hong Kong Institute of Education, where it was in particular week, one day in a week where the roads are empty, no vehicles will be there, only the fitness activities takes place over there. Almost who was there in the house, they come out, they pull out themselves time, they go for cycling, they go for walking, or they go for jogging. And this is the setup of a society which is prevailing over there. So why I brought this point here is that where there is a community improvement in physical activities taking place over there. So that's the reason I think here, even in Mysore, where the population increases, Kukreli Lake is adjacent to this HRDC center, where you can see most of them in the morning, they go for walking, they go for jogging, and other activities also is taken place. And even to the extent yoga, they participate in the yoga activities, where the skill related fitness of an individual can be improved. You just think of an example. One day, if you just close the gate of a Kukreli walking structure, so naturally there will be a strike, and the public will be asking for opening, because there is an awareness for the public that walking or jogging gives them the fitness of an individual. It also reduces the risk of heart diseases, diabetes, hypertension, and depression. As you know that when you go, that is, it's walking, the fitness activities are good example for to improve the heart diseases. The sense when you have a regular walking, so that will improve, and the reducing of the diabetes also will take place, and the hypertension also will be reduced, and depression also will be improved. So all this thing is taking place only when you are physically fit enough, and your fitness activities are carried up in a regular routine activity, routinely. And as you know that physical fitness is not just only to that particular sector of population or to only particular age groups. It is for all the populations. As you know that even and the fitness, the child, when it is in the mother's womb, the activity starts over there. The movement starts over there. So likewise, even till the death, even last stage of the death, the movement takes place and movement is more important. That's the reason we tell that fitness activities plays an important role. So let us move on. So there are two types of physical fitness. The first one we call that is health related physical fitness. And the second one we call it as skill related physical fitness. So there are various components under health related physical fitness and skill related physical fitness, which these both are important for fitness of an individual. So what is this health related physical fitness? So health related physical fitness is well-being and wholesome development of an individual. What is this well-being? Well-being gives a vital importance. Well-being in all the fields. So that's the reason when an individual participates in the activities, well-being of an individual is more important, where the wholesome development of an individual is taking place over there. So what are the components of health related physical fitness? It consists of 5 components. One is the body composition. The other one is the physical, that is flexibility. The third one is the cardiovascular endurance. And the next, muscular endurance. And lastly, muscular strength. So these 5 components are more important for maintaining the health related physical fitness of an individual. And in due slides, we'll just know what is body composition, what is flexibility, and what is cardiovascular endurance, and what is muscular endurance, and what is muscular strength. And the other one, second one, is that components of skill related physical fitness. So what are the components under skill related physical fitness? Is strength, the speed, the flexibility, the coordination, the endurance. So when you participate in the sports, so naturally, not only in sports or any of the activities, both the components are more important. So let us discuss one by one. What is this body composition? The body composition, it speaks that the ratio of lean body mass body composition that is properly balanced is very important. As you know that the composition of an individual, the body structure of an individual should be well balanced. You got both the sides, right side and left side, where both side has to be balanced, very well balanced. So if the body composition structure is in a normal condition, where when you put on the weight equally, it gets distributed. So body composition that is properly balanced in every is very important. Excessive fat is a good predictor of health problems because it is associated with cardiovascular diseases, high cholesterol, and high blood pressure. So as you know that excessive fat is a good predictor. More the fat you are, the more the problem you face. The more the health problem you are associated with, and more the cardiovascular problems you have to face, and the high cholesterol and high blood pressure. So these are all the problems that you face when your fat is more than what you are and what it's supposed to be. So ideal body composition plays an important role of an individual for any performance to take place. So next is higher proportion of lean mass indicates a strong and more desirable physique, that is enhanced bone density, improved immune function, improved heart efficiency, reduces risk of developing type 2 diabetics, increased metabolism, decreased resting blood pressure, improved self-esteem, and increased ability to adapt everyday stress. So high proportion of this mass leads to all this thing. So it is our duty to reduce all this thing. We have to go for regular exercise and fitness programs. So this is a calculation given for body mass index, and body mass index, it is the mass divided by height in square. You will get BMI, and you can also work out, and there is a chart which you can know your status, whether you're obese or not. The second one is the flexibility, which is more and more important. As you might be seeing the children's, they run, they climb, they jump, they tumble, and they don't stand in one particular place. You can see the amount of flexibility they put on. As the age goes higher and higher, and there is a time where the flexibility gets deteriorated. So for this, regular exercise plays an important role for your body to be more flexible. So you can see some of the exercises. I think you all are aware of this flexibility exercises. So it may be termed as the ability of an individual to move his body parts to its maximum range around the related joint. So what is the maximum range here? It could be the stretch that you do. It could be upward, it could be sideways, or it could be the downward, the stretch. So the more the flexible you are, the more working function you can do it. Suppose if something falls down when you're sitting in a chair, and how you take it, and likewise, there are so many examples which I can give you. Standing in the classroom, how flexible you are in standing in the classroom, and walking on the staircase, how flexible you are to walk on the staircase. And likewise, there are so many other activities that you're doing, how flexible you are to do those activities. So the flexibility plays an important role, and it's a maximum range around the related joint. So there is a various joints. I know you might be knowing there are more joints in our body. So from that particular joint, how you stretch and which direction you stretch, that is more important. So it is through the exercises, the flexibility can be improved. So it is measured in degrees, radius, or centimeters. So this is a motor ability which is of great importance for sports performance as well as for leading a normal, healthy life. It cannot be passive or active in nature. So it is the flexibility is not important only for the sports person. It is also important for any normal, healthy living of an individual. So it can be passive as well as it can be active in its nature. So BMI is first one. The second one is flexibility. Then here we talk about the types of flexibility. What is passive flexibility and what is active flexibility. So what is passive flexibility? When the movement around the joint is done with external help, then this type of flexibility is termed as passive flexibility. Help may be taken from another person. So passive in the sense, when two persons, when they start pushing each other, there the internal function starts and flexibility is taken place over there. That's the reason it is told when the movement around the joint is done with external help. Who is an external help? The partner is an external help. Any other substance or any other element or any other material, when you take the external help through which your flexibility can be improved. You take, for example, there's a band where you can hold it, you can tie it in a pole, and you just start moving your hands. So you can start arranging, that is flexing your hands. So there also you are taking the external help to improve your flexibility. So what is active flexibility? When the movement around this joint is done without the external help, then this type of flexibility is termed as active flexibility. Further, active flexibility is subdivided into two parts, that is static and dynamic flexibility. So without taking up any of the activity, that is any of the elements or the support or the equipments, so you call that is a active flexibility. So this is static and this is dynamic. What is static flexibility? When the individual is executing movement around his joint in a sitting and standing position, then it is called static flexibility. When the individual is executing movement around his joint when moving, then it is called a dynamic flexibility. So what are the various methods to improve this? So there are few methods which you can improve the flexibility, which is more important, that is ballasting method. When the flexibility exercises are done with rhythmic movements, this is called ballastic method. In this method, the movement around the joints are done with a swing. This type of method is very much effective in improving the range of motion around the joints. For example, you do some of the gymnastics movements. So you just keep skipping in one particular place and you just keep hopping in one particular place. So these are the things which helps you to improve your flexibility. So stretch and hold. In this type of method, the athlete is asked to stretch to his or her maximum limit and hold the position for a few seconds and then regain the previous position. This type of method is very useful for improving the flexibility. This can be done individually or with the help of another person. So what you do here, you just stretch your arm with the help of, you just pull, start pulling. Take for example, there is a bar. You hold the bar, you start stretching your body and you hold it for a few seconds. So which in turn will improve your flexibility. This you can take with the help of the external objects and you can also take the help of other person, that is pushing each other. The third one is that I just completed regarding BMI. The second one I just spoke regarding the flexibility, and third one is about the endurance. So what is this endurance? As you know that even for sitting and listening the class also you should have endurance, which is more important. So when an individual continues doing physical activity for a longer period of time, which is more important, we call that is endurance. So longer period of time, how long you do that particular activity, which speaks regarding an individual, regarding the endurance of that particular individual. Suppose how long you can stand in the class and give lecture, maybe half an hour, maybe 1 hour, maybe 2 hours. So it speaks regarding the endurance of the individual faculty who can stand for so long time. So what are the various types of endurance? Endurance can be divided into 3 types as far as nature of the activity is concerned. So the endurance, it depends upon the type of nature of activity. What is the type of nature of activity? Because there are many activities in the society, which the various activities. So nature of the activity will be determining what type of endurance is required. Take for example, the first one is basic endurance. This type of endurance ability makes an individual capacity to carry out any type of work for longer duration. It is not task specific. This type of endurance largely depends upon aerobic capacity of an individual. This type of endurance, the pace of the activity is shown slow. Means something I can say that basic endurance, it speaks regarding the foundation of an individual in his fitness activity. Take for example, base means where normally every individual should possess this particular basic endurance for optimal withstanding the endurance of whatever the activity that he does. General endurance. Second one, this type of endurance ability makes an individual capable to carry out type of work for longer duration with various movement pattern and pace. The nature of pace may change according to the demand of the activity. Take for example, sometimes when you are working in the office, the nature of work, sometimes you work slowly, sometimes you work faster. So the pace changes. Likewise, even the physical activities, sometimes when you are late to the train, catching up a train, or when you're late to catch up a bus, sometimes you walk, sometimes you run, sometimes you sprint. So the nature of the activity depends upon the general endurance. So this general endurance, you are fit enough to take up that, depending upon the nature of the activity that you do it. The third one is specific endurance, which is more specific in its nature, which the nature of the activity will determine. Take for example, this type of endurance ability makes an individual capacity to carry out a specific type of work for longer duration with set type of movement patterns and pace. This involves aerobic as well as anaerobic quality of an individual and is highly trainable in nature, in the sense they are more specific to the nature. Like in our field, like if a person's endurance, if he has to play football, a match which is 45 minutes in first half and 45 minutes in the second half, totally 1.5 hours, he is supposed to have specific endurance. So that's how he is supposed to be trained. So likewise, the specific reason, specific nature of work determines the nature of endurance. Cardiovascular endurance, it speaks more about the heart, the functioning of the heart here. The ability of the heart, lungs, and blood vessels to supply sufficient amount of oxygen and nutrition to the cells to meet the demands of the activity, characterized by moderate contractions of larger muscle groups over prolonged period of time. So if you go to like check up what is the capacity of a heart, if you go to an hospital, they give you treadmill test, TMT test. So where you walk, and there are certain times where you have to walk, brisk walk, sometimes you have to run, depending. So you will come to know what is the capacity of your heart status over there. So to test this, we just use a 12 minutes run walk test, which can be evaluated for knowing about the status of heart of an individual endurance. What is this aerobic exercises? Aerobic exercise, it is the ability of muscle to utilize more amount of oxygen while working. So there are certain nature of activities where you require more of oxygen. Suppose when you're tired, you require more of oxygen. So an individual, depending upon the nature of the activities, has to work. This type of capacity largely depends upon the oxygen uptakes, it transportation from atmosphere to the workings, muscles, and oxygen consumption. So oxygen intake is the amount of oxygen which is taken from the atmosphere with the help of nose and mouth and is sent to the lungs, and from where it is transferred to the blood. So transportation of oxygen from lungs to the target muscle is very important. For that, you do the exercises. How much oxygen will be transported depending upon the amount of oxygen absorbed by the blood and the capacity of the heart, which will pump the blood into circulation. Sometimes we call it as athletic art. What is an athletic art here? Means it is seasoned depending upon the nature of the activity, where the amount of oxygen it receives from the atmosphere and which has been taken and which has been induced in the blood. So it speaks regarding the amount of oxygen observed in blood depends upon the amount of hemoglobin present in the blood, which carries oxygen to the target muscles. The capacity of the heart and vessels system, vascular system of the body will determine how fast the blood will reach to the target muscles. So if the heart is strong and has longer chamber size, it will pump more blood in circulation, which will help the oxygen to reach the target muscles in less time. So as you know that if the vessels, blood vessels are more, without any disturbance, the flow of the blood will take place and the person, the individual will be in a position to do the work in a longer period. And if there is a blockage of the vessels, naturally the pumping of the heart will be difficult and even more consumption of oxygen is required and prolonging of activity will be reduced. So if the activity, prolonged activity has to be taken place, vessels should be cleared, more oxygen to be received, it has to be collaborated with the hemoglobin and the activities can be increased. Further, when the oxygen reaches the target muscles, it has to be taken up by the muscles and then consumed. The fourth one, it speaks regarding the muscular strength. Of course, the activity, nature of activity depends upon the muscular strength. How much an individual possesses strength, strength means the muscular strength depends upon the nature of activity. Strength is a resistance against resistance. So muscular strength is directly related to force production, means the more you force you produce, the more the strength, muscular strength you are having. Not only in sports, but it is related to our each and every movement. So each and every movement, it is more important that your force is generated for the muscle strength to get activated. So there are various types of strength. We call it as maximum strength. So what is this maximum strength? When our muscles or muscle group is able to generate the force with 100% effort by which we can able to tackle the maximum resistance in a single contraction, it is called a maximum strength of an individual. So 100% effort you put, we call it as maximum strength. What is an explosive strength? The muscle or the group of muscles contract with high speed to overcome or to act against the resistance. Means there are certain times where your muscles contract very high, means very high, means certain times you have to change the phase. Take for example, lifting a bar, which is unexpected. So there you have, you are supposed to go for explosive strength where you are lifting more than what you are expecting. Strength endurance, as it is reflects from the name itself, that it is related to the work which is done for longer duration. So prolonging the activity for longer duration, for which you call it as strength endurance. In fraction seconds, which you do it, you call it as explosive strength. Maximum strength is single contraction for a longer duration. So next we'll move on to what are the exercises, types of exercises. So here, when you are doing the exercises, there are two types of exercises which you do it. One is additional body weight as resistance exercises, own body weight resistance exercises. Additional body weight resistance here means that you are going to take the external support. Own body means you are using your own body while doing the exercises. So coordinative abilities. Coordinative abilities are those abilities which stabilize and generalize pattern of motor control. The sense, speed, flexible, endurance, strength, So all this thing is in its optimal nature, then coordinative ability will take place. So this ability helps the sports person to do a group of movement with better quality and effect. So if any movement has to take place, so naturally coordination plays an important role of all these motor abilities. It could be the speed, flexibility, endurance, and more. So coordinative abilities primarily depends upon the central nervous system. Central nervous system, which plays an important role in ability of an individual. So here are some of the benefits of physical fitness. When we talk about cardiorespiratory system, it increases the heart size and volume, blood volume, stroke volume, cardiac output, VO2 max, oxygen interactions with cells, lung volumes. So how does it helps? That is resting heart rate, submaximal exercises, blood pressure. So these are certain things. It decreases this and increases this. And muscular skeletal system, where the number and size changes of injuries. So these are certain things which is an example of the benefit of exercise. So whatever I spoke just now, it is all about fitness. Next, we'll move on to the next heading, that is wellness. So what is wellness? Wellness is a familiar term, but what is its true definition? It is simply the absence of disease. We call it as wellness. So wellness is nothing but absence of disease. Here we will speak about all that is components, the holistic components, wellness, and describes the factors that contribute to not only a person's physical and mental health, but also their ability to develop, strive, succeed, enjoy life, and meet challenges head on with their confidence and resolve. So here, wellness is, we just told that it is absence of diseases. Of course, if there is no diseases, of course, individual's wellness is uptaken. So what are the various dimensions of wellness? A person must healthily in 9, that is intra-connected dimensions of wellness. That is, he should be socially, physically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, environmentally, and occupationally. Means an individual put himself in these dimensions where there should be the balance of all this wellness status. Sometimes if he is physically fit, but socially if he is weak, he cannot balance himself. Where the support of all the wellness should take place, then only the wellness of an individual will be taken care of. So what is this physical wellness? People who are physically well will actively make healthy dimensions on a daily basis. So as you know that a person or individual who is physically well will take up the daily basis, in the sense whatever the daily activities is supposed to do, he'll take the activities into a challenging nature. The sense to attain this physical wellness, he should eat nutritionally balanced diet. They try to get an adequate amount of sleep, and they visit the doctor routinely. The sense, nutritionally, he should take up the balanced diet and get an amount of sleep, in the sense he should have a sound sleep, and regularly has to visit the doctor routinely. So where his physical wellness will be taken care of. So they make a habit of exercising thrice, 3 times, that is 3 to 5 times per week. They have the ability to identify their personal needs and are aware of their body limitations. The sense, at least regularly has to go for the regular exercises, and in turn, he identifies the personal needs and are aware of their body limitations. What are the personal needs? Due to the work, prolonged timings, and what are his limitations of his body? You cannot sleep more than 6 hours. 12 hours, it is impossible. So the limitation of an individual limitation has been set. So an individual functions accordingly. They maintain positive interpersonal relationships and make healthy sexual decisions that are consistent with their personal values and beliefs. So as you know that positive interpersonal relationships play an important role for physical wellness of an individual. Emotional wellness, of course, you are physically fit, but emotionally you are weak. You cannot win the race. You cannot be successful. You cannot be happy. So an emotionally well person successfully expresses and manages an entire range of feeling, including anger, doubt, hope, joy, desire, fear, and many others. So what I mean to say is that when a person is successfully expresses and manages an entire range of feeling, the sense, of course, when he gets a feeling, he should be in a position to manage that. When he is anger, he should know how to manage that. For everything, there's a limitations. Of course, even the desire, fear, and other things. He should be in a position to manage all these things. So people who are emotionally well maintain a high level of self-esteem. If a person who can maintain emotionally well maintained, so naturally will be high esteem. They have a positive body image and the ability to regulate their feelings. So naturally, your emotional wellness is taken care of. So you will have positive feeling. They know where to seek support and help regarding their mental health, including but not limited to seeking professional counseling services. So as you know that even seeking professional counseling services is also most important because to keep your emotional wellness status. Intellectual wellness. So those who enjoy the intellectual wellness engage in lifelong learning. They seek knowledge and activities that further develop their critical thinking and heighten global awareness. They engage in activities associated with the arts, philosophy, and reasonings. So that's the reason, even to the extent till you die, intellectual wellness is required. The knowledge, quest of the knowledge, which is more important. Spiritual wellness, people who can be described as spiritual well have identified a core set of beliefs that guide them decision making and other faith-based endeavors. While firm in their spiritual beliefs, they understand others may have a distinctly different set up of guiding principles. They recognize the relationship between spiritual and identify in all individuals. So what is the social well-being? Social well person builds healthy relationship based on independence, trust, and respect. Those who are socially well have a keen awareness of the feeling of others. They develop a network of friends and co-workers who share a common purpose and who provide support and validation. So social wellness which is more important to lead a life in the society. You cannot lead alone. You require the association of other peoples to survive in the society. Environmental wellness. And environmental wellness will person appreciate the external cause and stimuli that an environment can provide. People who have achieved environmental wellness recognize the limits to controlling an environmental and seek to understand the role of individual play in the environment. So each and every one has got a role in our environment, in and around surrounding. So which we have got our own limits. In the sense, we got our own limits. We cannot just keep on disturbing the environment. So we know our limits and we have to be in our limits to have this environmental wellness. Occupational wellness, of course, more important for us. Occupational well person enjoys the pursuit of a career which is fulfilling on a variety of levels. This person finds satisfaction and enrichment in work while always in pursuit of opportunities to reach the next level of professional success. So occupational wellness means every level he keeps climbing high and high in his occupation, because which is more, it is more important that he balances himself in such a manner that his occupational level is being taken care of to reach the next higher level for success of his profession. Next one is financial wellness. Those who are financially well are fully aware of their current financial state. They set long and short-term goals regarding finance that will allow them to reach their personal goals and to achieve self-defined financial success. So as you know that finance plays an important role to climb the steps in a hierarchy. So that's the reason. So you should means they set the long goals and the short goals. So based on the financial wellness, the long goals and the short goals have been achieved and the goals are also been set. Cultural wellness. Culturally well people are aware of their own culture background as well as the diversity and richness present in their other cultural backgrounds. So cultural wellness implies outstanding awareness and intersective respect for aspects of diversity. So culturally well person acknowledges and accepts the impact of this aspect of diversity on sexual orientation, religion, gender, racial, ethical background, age groups, and disabilities. So I think I've reached, completed the slides regarding fitness and wellness, which is more important for all the population. It's a general in concept, and I hope if there is any questions, I can clear the doubts. Yes, dear participants.
Excuse me, sir. And I've got a question, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, is there any correlation between size of the heart and the rate of heart attacks?
Sir, can you just repeat the question, sir?
Sir, is there any relationship between size of the heart and heart attack?
Sir, size of the heart, see, actually, first of all, say status of heart, if we have to improve the status of heart, we have to go for regular exercises. As you know that regular exercises will keep the heart in its proper manner. Right. And why this heart attack takes place? Because there are, if you don't participate in the physical activity or exercises, naturally obese will take place. When obese takes place, so naturally it impacts and the more impact will be taking place on the heart, where the functioning of the heart will be finding difficult to pump the blood. Naturally, attack will be taking place. So that's the reason, if your heart has to be kept in a proper manner and functioning and in a regular routine, so regular exercises, regular checkup and regular nutrition, which is more important.
Sir, these days we have seen many youngsters dying
Yeah.
out of heart attack or cardiovascular issues.
Yeah, that's the reason what here I just wanted to bring the information. This mobile age, as you know that mobile age has brought sedentary of life, where most of the students, they are not participating for the physical activities at all, nor doing any exercises. So they're sedentary to it. Naturally, no movements, so will have impact on the heart. And when there is no movement, how can you expect for pumping of the blood, and how can you expect the heart to function? So that's the reason minimum exercises, minimum fitness is more important. And here what happens is that when you go behind mobile, the
Sir,
exercises are reduced, the physical activities are reduced. So that's the reason the more heart functioning.
right.
Yes, sir.
Right. But Punit Rajkumar and Chiranjeevi Sarja, they were so
Sir,
fit.
yeah, of course. There, I just wanted to bring a information to you. Using, what is the optimal level of using the exercises? When you use more than your limits or capacity, naturally, what is the capacity of a heart? That you have to understand. If you go more than the capacity of the heart, naturally this will be taking place. That's what has happened. No one knew that. As you keep on doing it, what you do, you should know your capacity, and it should be a regular phases. It is not suddenly you just come and lift, and naturally the impact of the heart will be taking place and attack will take place. So you should know your limits, and slowly, prolongly it has to take place. And you should have the continuity of that. Here what happens is he has gone more beyond his capacity. That's the reason it has impacted his heart, and this has taken place.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Hello, sir. Dr. Shreyas speaking here. So I have one question to you. Could you please just suggest the best advice on the lifestyle of which you would like to suggest to the youth?
Sir, can you just repeat the question? I am not clear with the question.
Can you please just suggest the lifestyle of the youngsters which we have to adopt in nowadays?
Lifestyle.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you just repeat once again, sir? Just want to repeat the question, sir.
So, what would you like to suggest the youth regarding the lifestyle and the food habit?
So lifestyle of an individual, see, actually we got multiple, that is lifestyles. And as you know that we are in the teaching profession, and which is more important, what we do, we are not giving time for doing some particular exercise or physical activity. Morning walk should be must and should. That is more important. Morning, either you take up the walking or jogging or cycling or swimming or any physical activity for that matter. 1 hour daily you try to spend your time. So that is a good lifestyle which you are supposed to, what you call, cultivate. Because here, one more thing is that since you are in the teaching field, your stress level increases. To reduce the level of the stress, meditation plays an important role. So meditation, you have to find time, you have to identify the place, and you have to go at least minimum. You can, from the beginning, starting with two minutes, 1 minute, 2 minutes, you can just start meditating yourself, and you can increase the timing. So to my knowledge, and along with that, a good nutritional status, the sense taking well balanced food that keeps you prolonged life, happier throughout.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, tell me, madam.
Sir,
Thank you.
pregnant lady idವರು ಕೂಡ exercise ಮಾಡಬಹುದು sir?
ಯಾರು ಮೇಡಮ್?
Pregnant lady.
ಖಂಡಿತವಾಗಿ ಮೇಡಮ್. ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ನಾನು ಪ್ರೆಗ್ನೆಂಟ್ ಲೇಡಿನೂ ಸಹಿತ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಡಿಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಎಕ್ಸರ್ಸೈಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನೇ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ದೇ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ಎಕ್ಸರ್ಸೈಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಆಲ್ ಅದರ್ ಪೀಪಲ್. Means there are certain defined sets of exercises which you have to do those exercises. You cannot do all the exercises, madam. ಖಂಡಿತವಾಗಿ ಎಕ್ಸರ್ಸೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲೇಬೇಕು. ನೀವು ಎಕ್ಸರ್ಸೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹೊಟ್ಟೆ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಮಗು ಇರೋದು ಅದನ್ನು ಸಹಿತ ತೊಂದರೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಎಕ್ಸರ್ಸೈಸ್ ತಾವು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮಗುನ ಸಹಿತ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಮೇಡಮ್.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್, ಇನ್ನೂ ಒಂದು
ಹೇಳಿ ಮೇಡಮ್.
ಮೊನ್ನೆ ಪೇಪರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಸರ್ 13 years ಹುಡುಗಿ ಹಾರ್ಟ್ ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ. ಏನ್ ರೀಸನ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು?
ಖಂಡಿತ ಮೇಡಮ್, ಹಾರ್ಟ್ ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಮನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಇಸ್ ಬೌಂಡ್ ಟು ಟೇಕ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್. ಅದು ರೀಸನ್ಸ್ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಇದೆ ಮೇಡಮ್. ರೀಸನ್ಸ್ ನಾನು ಐ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಸೇ ದಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸರ್ಸೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಫಿಟ್ನೆಸ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಸೋ ಮೆನಿ ಅದರ್ ರೀಸನ್ಸ್. 13 years old ಮೇಡಮ್, ಇದು ಜೆನೆಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಸಹಿತ ಇರಬಹುದು, ಆನ್ಸೆಸ್ಟ್ರಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಸಹಿತ ಇರಬಹುದು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಎನ್ವೈರನ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಕಾಸಸ್ ಸಹಿತ ಇರಬಹುದು. ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಅದರ್ ವೇಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ವೇರ್ ಯಾವ್ದು ಆಗಿರೋಕೆ ಚಾನ್ಸಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡೋದು. 13 years ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಈಗ ಏನು ಬರೀ ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಕಡಿಮೆನೂ ಸಹಿತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ದ ಫಂಕ್ಷನಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಹಾರ್ಟ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ಆಗೇ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಮೇಡಮ್. ಅದನ್ನ ಆಗದಂಗೆ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ನಮ್ಮ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ತಕ್ಕಂಗ ಫೋರ್ಸ್. ಈಗ ಪುನೀತ್ ರಾಜ್ಕುಮಾರ್ ಏನಾಯ್ತು, ಎಕ್ಸರ್ಸೈಸ್ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಎಕ್ಸರ್ಸೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಏನಾಯ್ತು, ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಅಪ್ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟಸ್ ಮೇಡಮ್.
ಓಕೆ, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್.
ಓಕೆ,
ನಮಸ್ತೆ ಸರ್.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಮೇಡಮ್.
ಸರ್, ಇದು ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸರ್ಸೈಸ್ ವಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ. ಆ ವಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಏಜ್ ವೈಸ್ ರೆಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಷನ್ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಇದೆಯಾ ಸರ್? ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಹೇಳಿ?
ಮೇಡಮ್ ಹಂಗೇನಿಲ್ಲ ಮೇಡಮ್. ರೆಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಈಗ ಟೇಕ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ 70+ ಇರೋರು ಓಡ್ತಾನೆ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕಂಡೀಷನಿಂಗ್, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹಾರ್ಟ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನಿಂಗ್, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಬಾಡಿ ಕಂಡೀಷನಿಂಗ್ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಇದೆ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ನಿರ್ಧಾರ ಆಗೋದು ಮೇಡಮ್. ಈಗ ಟೇಕ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಈಗ 70 ವರ್ಷ ಅವರು ಓಡ್ತಾನೆ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. So because he has conditioned his heart such a manner and his conditioned his body in such a manner where he is doing that. ಅವ್ರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ನಾವ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ನಮ್ಮ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ತಕ್ಕಂಗೆ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಅಡಾಪ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗಬೇಕು. ಬಟ್ ಏನೇ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಸಹಿತ ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಇನಿಷಿಯಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಡೇ ಬೈ ಡೇ ಒಂದೊಂದಾಗಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ವೀಕ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಶೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ ಹಾಕೋಬೇಕು, ತಿಂಗಳಿಗೆ ಶೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ ಹಾಕೋಬೇಕು. 3 months 6 months ಈ ತರ ಶೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಟೇಟಸ್ ನ ನೀವು ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಇವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಯೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳಕ್ಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ನಾನು ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಇವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿಕ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಇಟ್ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಪಾನ್ ಈಚ್ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮ್ ಎಕ್ಸರ್ಸೈಸಸ್.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್.
ಓಕೆ
ಸರ್, ನಾನು ಕುಶಲ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಸರ್, ಯಾವುದೇ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ವೆಲ್ನೆಸ್ಗೆ ಈಗ ತುಂಬಾ ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ. ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆಗೆ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆಗೆ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನ ಪ್ರಾಮುಖ್ಯತೆ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಅಂತ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವುದನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡದೆ ಈ ಯಾವ ವೆಲ್ನೆಸ್ ಸಿಗಲ್ಲ.
ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು ಸರ್. ಎಲ್ಲನೂ ಸಹಿತ ಇಂಟರ್ ಪ್ಲೇ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ನಾವು ಒಂದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಇದ್ರೆ ಖಂಡಿತ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಎಲ್ಲನೂ ಸಹಿತ ಇಂಟರ್ ವೆಲ್ನೆಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲಾನು ಇಂಟರ್ಲಾಕ್ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್. ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲದನ್ನು ಸಹಿತ ಇಂಟರ್ ಆಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗ್ಲೇಬೇಕು. ಅದೆಲ್ಲಾನು ಸಹಿತ ಇಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಏನಸ ಆಪ್ಟಿಮಲ್ ವೆಲ್ನೆಸ್. ಈಗ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಈಗ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ವೆಲ್ನೆಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಫೈನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ವೆಲ್ನೆಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಎಲ್ಲನೂ ಸಹಿತ ಎಷ್ಟು ಇರ್ಬೇಕು ಅಷ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ ಏನಂತ ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲಿ ವೆಲ್ನೆಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ನಾವು ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಒಂದು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅದು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಡೆ ಅದೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ತೊಂದರೆಗಳಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಆಪ್ಟಿಮಲ್ ವೆಲ್ನೆಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಕಡೆ ಇದ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ವೆಲ್ನೆಸ್ ಆಗೇ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್. ಆಪ್ಟಿಮಲ್ ವೆಲ್ನೆಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಷನ್. ಈಗ ಟೇಕ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಫೈನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ವೆಲ್ನೆಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೀನಿ. ಈಗ ಫೈನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ವೆಲ್ನೆಸ್ ಒಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ ಸ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಇರೋದು, ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ ಅದು ಹೈಯರ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಕೆಲವರಿಗೆ ಸ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದನು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಅದು ಅಷ್ಟು ಇದ್ರೆ ಇವ್ರಿಗೆ ಸ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, ಬಟ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಸ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ವೆಲ್ನೆಸ್ ಫೈನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ವೆಲ್ನೆಸ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಒಬ್ಬೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ ಅದು ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ವೇರಿ ಆಗೇ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಆಪ್ಟಿಮಲ್ ಈಚ್ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಈ ಶುಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಇಸ್ ಓನ್ ಆಪ್ಟಿಮಲ್ ವೆಲ್ನೆಸ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟಸ್ ಇನ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ವೆಲ್ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ ಡೈಮೆನ್ಷನ್ಸ್. ಆವಾಗ ಏನಾಯ್ತು, ಅವ್ನು ಓವರ್ ಆಲ್ ವೆಲ್ನೆಸ್ ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಈಗ ನಂದು ಏನಿದೆ ಸ್ಟೇಟಸ್ ಅದು ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ ಏನಾಯ್ತು ಅದು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಆವಾಗ ವೆಲ್ನೆಸ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ. ಸೊ ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಇಟ್ ಆಲ್ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಪಾನ್ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಅವ್ರ ಸ್ಟೇಟಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನಿರ್ಧಾರ ಆಗೋದು.
ಎನಿ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಥಿಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಮೆಂಟಲಿ,
ಖಂಡಿತವಾಗಿ ಸರ್, ಖಂಡಿತವಾಗಿ ವಿ ಶುಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಸ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು ಸರ್. ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಸ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಖಂಡಿತವಾಗಿ ಅದು ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಆಟಿಟ್ಯೂಡ್ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ. ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನಾದ್ರೆ ನಾವ್ ವೆನ್ ಯು ಗೋ ಹಣ ಅಂತ ಹಿಂದೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಲೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಯರ್ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲಿ. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸೌಂಡ್ ಸ್ಲೀಪ್, ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ, ನೀವು ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ 6 hours ನಿದ್ದೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ನೀವು ಹಣಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ, 2 ಗಂಟೆ ನಿದ್ದೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ, ಮಿಕ್ಕದ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಆರೋಗ್ಯ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕೆಟ್ಟ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಒನ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಫೈನಾನ್ಸ್, ಅದರ್ ಸೈಡ್ ವಾಟ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಯರ್ ಹೆಲ್ತ್, ಯು ಲೂಸ್ ಯರ್ ಹೆಲ್ತ್. ಸೊ ಲೈಕ್ ವೈಸ್ ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಅದಕ್ಕೂ ಒಂದು ರಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಇದಕ್ಕೂ ಒಂದು ರಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್ ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ.
ಒಬೆಸಿಟಿ ಮತ್ತೆ 40 ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ದಂಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸರ್ಸೈಸಸ್ ಏನಿರ್ಬೇಕು ಸರ್ ಜನರಲ್?
ಸರ್ ಒಬೆಸಿಟಿಗೆ ನೀವ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಸರ್, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಒಬೆಸಿಟಿ ಇಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಫ್ಯಾಟ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಬರ್ನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಸರ್. ಹಂಗಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಊಟ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದಂತ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ, ಊಟ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ, ನೀವ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅದನ್ನೇ ಊಟ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ, ಬಟ್ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ತಕ್ಕಂಗೆ ನೀವ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಬರ್ನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು. ಆ ಫ್ಯಾಟ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಏನಾಗ್ಬೇಕು, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದು ನೀರೆಲ್ಲ ಈಚೆ ಬರ್ಬೇಕು ಸರ್. ಆ ಫ್ಯಾಟ್ ಇರೋದೆಲ್ಲ ಕರಗಿ ಥ್ರೂ ಸ್ವೆಟ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ಕಮ್ ಔಟ್. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ನೀವು ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಎಕ್ಸರ್ಸೈಸ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ ಅದನ್ನೇ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಯಾವ್ದು ಒಬೇಸ್ ನ ನೀವು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಇದು ಒಬೇಸ್ ಇರೋದು ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಕಾಯಿಲೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಅದೇ ರೂಟ್ ಕಾಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅಂಡ್ ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ನೀವು ಒಬೇಸ್ ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹಾರ್ಟ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಕಷ್ಟ ಪಡುತ್ತೆ. It is take something like you got 10 rupees and you find it difficult to run the show, whereas 100 rupees ಇರುವಾಗ ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, 10 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಇರುವಾಗ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಲೈಕ್ ವೈಸ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫ್ಯಾಟ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದ್ರೆ ಹಾರ್ಟ್ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ತುಂಬಾ ಕಷ್ಟ ಪಡುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫ್ಯಾಟ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದ್ರೆ ಹಾರ್ಟ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅನುಕೂಲ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ರುಟೀನ್ ಎಕ್ಸರ್ಸೈಸಸ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ನೀವು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಯರ್ ಫ್ಯಾಟ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹಾರ್ಟ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನಿಂಗ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ವಿತೌಟ್ ಎನಿ ಬ್ಲಾಕೇಜ್, ಕಷ್ಟ ಪಡದಂಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಲಾಂಗಿಟಿವಿಟಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಸರ್.
ವಾರ್ಮ್ ಅಪ್ ಎಕ್ಸರ್ಸೈಸ್ ಬೆಟರ್ ಸರ್.
ಖಂಡಿತವಾಗಿ ವಾರ್ಮ್ ಅಪ್ ಎಕ್ಸರ್ಸೈಸ್ ಇನಿಷಿಯಲ್ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ವಾರ್ಮ್ ಅಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲೇಬೇಕು. ಏನಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ವಾರ್ಮ್ ಅಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲೇಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಅಡಾಪ್ಟೆಡ್ ಟು ದ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಎನ್ವೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಆ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ಗೆ ಎನ್ವೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಗೆ ನೀವು ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ವಾರ್ಮ್ ಅಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲೇಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ.
ಸರ್ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಸರ್.